competition in friendships.
Okay. Oh goodness.
Okay. You wanted to do this today, too?
Yes. Should we sit properly? Okay.
Sometimes it could just be the individual wants to know your hardships, your struggles, wants to see you suffer, and then they just don't share.
Do you understand what that's doing to you?
Yeah.
As in, you see something, but you don't think of your own perception of it. You go to see what everyone else thinks.
This is probably like a bad example. You know when you're thinking, don't say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
If you do have a friendship and it's competitive and it's healthy, you should be able to tell your friend, oh, how did you get that?
Me thinking of a question.
Give it to me.
Wait, hold on. First of all, wait a minute. These are teamwork.
Y'all just join in.
Okay, that's just demonic. Hello, and welcome back, guys, to your favorite new talk show, Talk to Trish, and I am your host, Trish Balusa. So excited. I'm sure we've seen faces that are sitting beside me. You guys have seen it if you're looking and listening last time. Welcome back to my wonderful panelists. We have CK. For those who haven't met you, please tell us who you are and what you do. Tell us what you want to tell us.
Okay.
This is a free space.
My name is CK. I'm a mother and I'm also a qualified social worker.
Amazing. And over here we have Mya.
Hi guys, my name is Mya Ilunga. I'm a life coach, events and entertainment organizer, and all round just a creative.
I love that.
I like that.
And I'm just going to say I'm just Trish and I'm your host, and that should be good enough for now. Anyway, moving on. We have an interesting topic today. I'm actually really excited about this one because I don't think we discuss it enough to the capacity that we really should be discussing it. What we're going to be talking about is... These are teamwork.
Y'all just join in.
They just got me. So what we're talking about today is competition in friendships.
Oh goodness.
Okay. You wanted to do this today, didn't you?
Yes. Should we sit properly? Okay. So first thing to explore is it common? Wait, hold on. First of all, wait a minute. Does that make sense? Competition in friendships? Do I have to break down anything?
It does, unfortunately.
It's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of sad that it makes sense straight away, but we'll explore that even more. I think that's very telling.
That's the issue.
No one's like, what's that?
What's that all about?
Does that actually make sense? Okay, so is it common? CK?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this something that you've experienced? Okay. Something I've experienced, I ain't gonna lie.
I had to come to terms with it. I think I was trying to avoid that this is actually what it is. Yeah. Because I was so attached to my idea of friendship. So it's like friendship and jealousy, how is this coexisting right now?
This is the thing with me, I didn't even know until...
It got worse.
Like until it got there. What's interesting is you said straight away friendship with jealousy. Like you connected it straight away to jealousy.
I didn't. I was like, how is this even in the same position? I think I was more ignorant. Not ignorant, but I was delusional. What's the other word? I didn't realise. Naive. I was naive to it because I was like, you can't be jealous of me. I'm your friend.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh no, there's more to it.
Yeah. Is it just in one occasion? Because it's a bit random how we've all just experienced, unless we've all experienced the same friend. So is this something we can say is quite common? People experience it quite often.
I think jealousy is normal. The emotion is normal, just like anger, joy, all the emotions. It's what you do with it that then becomes an issue. It's how it shows up in the relationship that then becomes an issue.
So you think competition in a friendship is jealousy? Because I said competition in a friendship. You've been saying jealousy like a couple of times.
With me? That's crazy.
That's jealousy. Yeah. But it could also be envy.
Okay, so you guys know stuff like this. You guys are English. You guys know the English. Who told you that? Between jealousy and envy again. Just remind me.
I put it under the same category, really.
To be honest, I might just be bullshitting because in my head I've made a difference, So I feel okay about being envious sometimes. So
no, but I think it's okay to have. You can envy something, you can be jealous of something. All it is just a reflection of what you lack, right? Yeah. But if you're now projecting it onto other people as if to say it's them rather than what's happening with you, that's the issue.
But I find jealousy more, because of the interpretation that I've made in my head, jealousy is more sinister, whereas envy can be
I wish I had that.
With envy could be like,
she shouldn't have that. Whereas envy's like, I wish I had that.
Yeah. Envy's like, I wish I could have. I wish I could do what. I wish I could do what Maya's really good at. I wish I could speak how. More like you can. I think envy could easily be turned into inspiration. Like you can be inspired by someone you envy. Yeah. But whereas I think jealousy becomes a bit. You start thinking of Crime Watch and stuff. You know.
Literally to death.
You know when they're like, it was her friend.
Yeah. Toxic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Very toxic.
I think that's the way I think of it. And so when I think of it as envy, I think I normalize the competition in the friendship.
Right.
But when I think of it as jealousy, it just gets dark.
But is it healthy to have competition in friendships, do you think?
You asking my questions now, host. Okay,
No,
CK.
I want to know. No, I want to know because, like,
That's what I wanted to ask you.
me,
I want to know.
I don't know. A competitive friend to me is someone who I wouldn't want to be around my space.
Absolutely not, yeah.
So
But
that's
why?
why I asked the question. Because it leads to like jealousy.
Yeah.
In my experience, anyway.
Okay, so from your experience, there's no like happy ending to this.
It's like we're friends, right? Which means I'm being my self to you, which means the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And it's
being
like
vulnerable.
that's my thing. I'm like, this is my vulnerable space.
Yeah.
So in which part does this make you feel like this is a you thing? Because that's what jealousy is
Yeah.
about. It's
That's
about someone else making a
Yeah.
thing about them. It's like imagine me bringing my traumas to you, and you see it as something that is to be envious of.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
But I think in that particular situation, could be that it's your trauma. But what if they're envious about maybe how ambitious you are? You know?
Okay, so
maybe
they're
they're
like-
tired all the time. Maybe they lack vitamin D, and they're like, "Oh, why are you just such a go-getter all the time? I wish I had that energy." No. I like vitamin D. Okay?
I get it, but if I'm coming to you for advice for something I'm lacking, right, as a friend, because you know, I'm coming to you, I need help with X, Y, Z, and you're looking at it like, what's wrong with you? You've got all the things you need in the world, and you're not. There's two ways of telling me. There's listen, you are much better than you think you are, and I'm helping you see it. And then there's you're an idiot. You don't deserve it. I'm not going to say nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a tone to it that you kind of get to pick up on. It depends on your awareness to that relationship with a friend, right? When you're giving each other advice and stuff. But I think there's something about interpretation about your relationship that builds up this jealousy thing, and I think that's what I wasn't paying attention to. Like you're out here saying stuff like this is what's going on, this is what's going on, not realizing that this person's processing it in a different way, based on where they are.
It's
and I
quite
was like,
maliciously intent.
And just going back to what you're saying, if you know you do have a friendship and it's competitive and it's healthy, you should be able to tell your friend, oh, how did you get that? Like, you know, have that one-to-one, you know, oh, how did you get there? You know, what could you do? And as a friend, they will know your strengths and your weaknesses, and they can be transparent and be honest and say, this is what you need to do in order to get here. However, maybe you can work on this and that and you'll get there. You know, so it shouldn't be competitive.
I was going to say, I like what she said, and then he kind of went against what I was going to say, why I like it. Because I was speaking to a guy about this recently, and he actually said he likes a bit of healthy competition in friendship because it motivates them. But, you know, men are weird, so, you know, the friendship, no accountability, yay, you know, they just enable all sorts. So I was like, okay, maybe that's a perspective that I hadn't seen it in before, because the way he was explaining it is like, you know what, if my friend can do this, I can go get it too. Not necessarily get it from them, but get it too.
but
like
that's
be
the
up
issue.
there with you.
That's the issue. The issue is your life is not measured by me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Your life is measured by you, right? So it's like if you're doing things based on me, then you're making your life about me when it's not. Whereas if we're just friends and we're building our lives together, I'd rather have an accountability friend rather than a competitive friend.
Definitely.
Because an accountability friend is, I said I was going to do this. Go on then, let's see you do it. Rather than, oh, you thought you was going to do it, but you didn't. It's like, it's a different vibe.
That's it.
Yeah. Is it easy though to easily confuse the two though, an accountability friend and a competitive friend? Ooh, the silence, mysterious. Am I getting
No,
into
because I don't know. Not to me. I don't think so. Because you know, there's no negative aspect in accountability. I would say because you have to look at the base of why it's done. It's probably done out of love.
Yeah.
You know.
That's if you're open to it.
This is it.
Yeah. Because I could be trying to hold you accountable,
She landed on
and you're
us.
looking at me on some scheme. Who do you think you are? Ooh,
And then it can turn into she's jealous of me.
ooh.
This is it.
Or she's trying to
But
turn
then,
into something
as long
else.
as you've told the friend that, you've done your duty. So everyone's accountable. Everyone's
And that's
got-
it. It's I think that like when you asked the question about the jealousy thing, it was more so of I haven't been jealous of a friend. I've had friends that have been jealous of me. And I'm like, that is a very uncomfortable position to be in as a friend, because you're like, I've been so vulnerable to you. I didn't know we was doing this whole comparing each other thing, right? Yeah. So it's like, it kind of then tenses up the relationship. Now I'm overthinking when I tell you something like, oh, don't do this. I wouldn't do this if I was you. But then I'm thinking, this person's probably thinking I'm saying it because of whatever other reasons that they've been harboring. So it's kind of made me be very cautious of friends that don't see themselves in ways that I see them in. Like, I don't want to see your greatness for you. I don't want to convince you how great you are. I want you to have some sort of awareness of it, because sometimes we forget, right? I'm able to call my friend and be like, what the hell's going on with me? And you be like, tell me, you remind me. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I want you to have some level of awareness, so you know I'm not lying to you and I'm like, you're lit. Don't let this happen to you, or whatever the case may be. So I keep away now from people that don't see me for who I am. Because you're not seeing you for who you are. Then the friendship is built on what then?
Sorry, go on.
I think the danger though is when it's subtle. Because in my experience, I wasn't able to identify it. It was so subtle, and the way it presents itself is different. Because let's be real.
Like you should say more.
Let's be real.
This is because
sometimes it's not the way you'll think. Like, I'm sure within your friendship group, you don't hang around with people who are not like you or who don't aspire to be like you. You've got some common friendships and ground. There we go. So sometimes they can have their shit as well, and they have their shit going, and they're envious of you about something. You're like, hold on, wait a minute, but you've got this. So why is it that you are envious and jealous of me? Like, simple example, like some people, you know, I've had an experience where I've had a friend who she's married, right? She has a man. She's got a relationship. Well, you know, clearly. And that wasn't the case for me. But I didn't see that she was envious of me because I started dating someone. But I'm like, hold on, you're there. So how could you be? And it was only until like literally others were like, listen, and I started to identify, see things for myself. I was like, wow, and I was blown away by that. So sometimes, from my experience, I've seen that. Sometimes it's just, you know, they've got it as well.
It's a them problem.
It's a personal problem.
It is a them problem.
I think even though it did sound like in the beginning I was championing for it, I'm really not. Like, I would rather that I don't have competitive friends, you know. For me, it's what you said. I would rather have, I think you actually said it, accountability. Friends who hold me accountable. And luckily I'm sane enough and open to that to see accountability for what it is, and, you know, and don't go into the blaming and stuff.
Because in my perspective, it's because there's a certain level of security within yourself that you have. The lack of that security. And this is also why I keep away from friendships with women that are not comfortable, happy within themselves, especially around men. Because for me, I've been, this is the one part of me that I build really hard, right? So it's like, I might have a weak arm, but this is my strong arm when it comes to how to protect myself, right? So then if I'm around women that don't have that same thing, then it is natural for them to look at me like, Skeen, because how do you think you're doing it so well, or whatever the case may be.
Do you think you are?
Yes. And so it's like, I need to make sure that I'm around people that don't see themselves like that, so that they don't project it onto me.
And you easily turn into an enemy as well. From my own experience, what I tend to find is that when people are competitive with you or they're envious of you, or even if they use it in terms of inspiration, the example I was given earlier, I think even the danger in that is that they then rely on you, on what you do to inspire them, what you do to keep them going. And when you're accepting of it, because I think one mistake that I did in terms of that situation is I tend to be quite open-minded. Oh, you know, maybe she's a bit envious. Maybe she does. Maybe she finds me inspiring, you know, because I'm an idiot. Maybe she finds me inspiring, you know. Maybe I am amazing. That's why she's competitive. And then you realize that actually they rely on you to be that source all the time. And when you're not, you sense a bit of hostility. I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced that. Because they almost can't wait for you to fall down. Like, oh, you're not that great then.
Anymore, yes.
You're not that much better than me. And then it's like, I never thought
But I've always realised because I've always been subconscious of the idea that I know my qualities and my strengths, and I'm around people that may not know theirs. It doesn't mean that I am better. It just means I am aware of myself and you are not, right? So now when you're in an environment with other people that are not so sure of themselves, you then tend to kind of bring yourself down a bit. Being aware of myself had made me realize that this is who I am. But because of that, I then subconsciously almost try to reduce myself in order to do the friendship part, because it's like, I want to be friends with you, bro. Like, can we be friends? So then I'm now making myself feel like if I don't boast so much, or if I don't do these things so much, because it's not boasting, it's just me being myself, then maybe we can be more friends. But no, bro, all it does is just kind of creates more hostility, because they're now seeing you trying to hold it down, and they can sense it. So I'm like, you know what? If I can just be myself comfortably and accept who I am, you're going to have to do the work that you need to do for yourself. But where the subtlety you was talking about that was missing came from running away from accepting the fact that this is who I am, the company I'm keeping around me, I need to pay attention to.
Definitely.
Because you can't just be with everyone and everyone. You have to... Where's your feathers? Who are the feathers? What's the phrase? The feathers, the flock. The flock of feathers.
Yeah. You've got me confused
of the flock.
Feathers, birds of the same
flock, feathers together or whatever.
Look, the same birds fly together.
You're people then, okay?
Okay.
So I'm like, check who you're around by remembering who you are. Every time I place myself in a situation where I try to dim the light just a little bit to not make them uncomfortable, I found myself in a situation where, why are you here with people that are doing this to you? Because they don't get what you're about. Remove yourself from it. Be with people that you can stand and be yourself with.
Got me thinking of a question.
Give it to me.
Okay, so you know how you said... Wait, hold on. I'm forgetting my question. Okay. You literally said something and it was like bam, bam, bam. Okay, so you know how you was explaining that, you know, it makes you kind of want to dim yourself down. Is this what we could say is the biggest, not biggest, but one of the biggest impact of having a competitive friend? Then it makes you conscious that you have to...
So like a consequence.
Like, because I think it's not a nice feeling to feel like your friend is very competitive. Unless they're being like, you know what, you're so dope that I'm going to go get it.
Yeah.
Unless they kind of put it in a positive way, then you feel like it's positive.
As soon as I picked up on competitiveness, it was ugly from there. I couldn't unsee it.
Okay, let's just put it on the table. Let's just be honest, okay? Right. What is the most competitive, or when did you realise, what is that your friend has done, or ex-friend in this case? Because I'm hoping that all ex-friends, for all of us, to be fair. What is it that a friend has done that you was like, that's competitive, or that's envious? And...
For me, it's always come down to, I say always, but because of the stances I make and stuff, men, which is so uncomfortable for me as a feminist, because it's like, I don't want to make men an issue in our friendship. The hell do you think this is? This is not the kind of friendship I uphold, right? But because of this, I've realized that I hold these values and whatnot towards women. So then women come towards me and hoping for friendships that they don't want to hope up their end of the bargain.
Mya, you are going around the wrong way. You're going around. Talking in that.
Let her land.
Okay.
Let her land.
I'm going to tombe. So it's like being around people that, as a woman, these are the values that I uphold. And as a friend, these are the values I share with my female friends and so forth. Then when it comes to dating, now I'm not trying to get these, I'm already dealing with patriarchy and all that kind of stuff, right? Whereas you might be more comfortable with the patriarchy, right? And then you want to, which pick-meism comes from, for me personally, want to be picked and be the one that looks like. I am the perfect example of being the best pick-me, because I am not what pick-meism is about. So if you stand next to me, you are going to look like the hallelujah of the pick-me's, okay? Because I am very much on the opposite end. You see this black shirt I've got on? Yes. You will stand next to me with your white top and I look fantastic.
Can I just add to that?
Please do.
And this is one thing, one point I wanted to say, but it will hopefully nicely tie in. You know, competitiveness with friendships, it actually starts from early as well. And I see that sometimes it's influenced from either family members or other people, because the friendships, the comparisons from the competitiveness. The competitiveness.
Look at the camera and repeat what you do, so they know this is factual.
Starts from early, sometimes within friendships and within family members as well, because we know we've got parents and aunties that compare. So some people are competitive, they don't even know it. And they have no insight into it as well. So this is why you probably, and from my experience, I've seen that, and it was so subtle, and it was manifested from early, and it's only recently, like in my personal experience, it happened like like 5-6 years ago, but I only came to the realization just recently. So I'm like, wow.
That recently, like, they were competitive or you were
Yeah,
competitive.
no, they were being competitive.
And they learnt it from
and envious and
or some
so
of the
I
people
just
around
sat down
them.
and I thought, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and that's dangerous. I think the
1000%
subtle ones are
agree.
the very dangerous ones.
Yes.
Because when you're still confining in that person, it could be deadly.
Yeah. And I think sometimes what the dangers of competitiveness is someone holding in the things you tell them in confidence and throwing it back when it suits them. Like for me, one of the most competitive things or envious or jealous thing that I think a friend has done to me is created a fake account and was sending me like abuse when I was pregnant.
Wow.
And it was really intense because at the time I was thinking, who is this?
do this,
you know,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was the friend of
That's evil. Full
my
stop.
child's father.
Sorry.
I thought, oh, I don't know people like that.
Yeah.
It must be yo. It's definitely
It's
your
on that side of the
No,
town.
it turns out I knew people like
close
that.
to home.
And you know that apology when you have to be like, I'm wrong.
It wasn't yours.
It was me.
Yeah.
And I think that scared me because I was like, how was I around people who are able to troll a pregnant woman, you know? And this is someone, you know, they know you because of the information they're telling you or the things they're using to try to manipulate you. That was one of the most shocking things for me because I was like, wait, hold on. At first I wanted to dismiss him, be like, oh, I don't know them. They're just a hater. Yeah. But when I have to actually come and realize myself that actually this is a friend, this is someone who has probably shown competitive traits and I haven't listened to because, you know, I like to think my friends are angels and sometimes I'm an idiot.
I think it's not that. It's we have, and I had to come to terms with this. What the hell is friend? I think I had to realize you have a very twisted idea of what a friendship is. It was very one-sided. So here I am complaining to this ex-friend that you don't know how to do this. You haven't done this in our friendship. And I'm like, yes, because you have normalized that this is what your relationship is based on. So it's like you still play a part in the harboring or the relationship in itself. The friendship concept is what you guys have created together because they do this, you do that, and it's almost an agreed thing between you guys without saying the words. It's just when it then gets dark. Because competition is what? You're competing with me. But there's no competition if I'm not competing with you back, right? Then what then starts to happen is you're moving like this and I'm starting moving like this. And I'm like, what are we doing? Pause. When it got to that stage, when I became conscious of the competition, in my mind, it changed the concept of my friendship. But all it did is just, it gave me awareness to what the actual thing was, rather than the romanticized version of what I thought the friendship was. So I think the jealousy comes into, I'm aware of me and I'm aware of you. But if I was really aware, what you said about the way that they were raised, competitiveness was a big part of their childhood, whereas it wasn't so much for me. So I didn't understand that. So it's like we kind of did the friendship thing as kids when we grew up, but then as adults, these things started to manifest in ways that became very toxic. So it's like, okay, I'm now conscious of they may have done that, but I allowed it. So it must be something with what's my idea of friends.
See, I was actually going to say that this will go into, you know, the point of why we're actually doing this is, again, speaking as Black women and our experiences. I was almost thinking, do you think as Black women we're kind of prepped to accept these kind of friendships, you know? Because often, I don't know about everyone else's experience, but I know that growing up often, you do hear that, oh, be careful with friends. Friends can be so and so, you know? But they're not telling you don't make friends. They're just telling you be careful. Friends can be so and so. Or, oh, make sure you do this because sometimes your friends will do this. There's little warnings, but at the same time, you're still cackling with friends that you say are jealous of you or maybe quite evil, you know? Like, and so I think naturally we end up also demonstrating that, enabling behaviors that we should be really like, whoa.
Yeah, but the advice you'll be getting, if my mum wants to give me advice about her friends, I would have never had friends. Because for her, it would have been like, they're like this, they're like this, they're like this, like this. Also, it's that whole thing we mentioned in the last time we spoke about transmitting information across. All that mother A has done to daughter is transmitted the jealousy one way or another. Friend has brought it onto us, vice versa. So it's like, of course, we might end up having the same experiences as our mothers.
You know, so do we learn a sense of tolerance of these things?
I think we learn toxic traits.
Because we're exposed to it. You know, it's become normalised as well. This is the thing, because, you know, in the beginning, you asked us all, you know, we didn't even have to go into detail with the topic.
We knew straight away.
We knew straight away.
So based on what Mya said, CK, do you think that maybe we should have some compassion towards people who do demonstrate those characteristics or characteristics?
You can have compassion, but me on a personal basis.
I'm so glad you took
On a
that.
personal basis,
You
you know,
took the
that's not within my friend zone, you know, friendship bracket. Definitely not. Because, you know, my family, if you can hurt me, you can hurt my family. No, like, I don't need that negativity.
Yeah.
I mean, as a black woman, oh goodness, the struggle is already hard, you know. So I don't need any more. You know, we need positivity, and I think we need more of that. We need to celebrate one another. You know, we need to embrace and uplift one another. So if I've got anyone who's competitive within my space, you know, I just keep it moving.
So let's say if anyone is watching here and they find that actually I'm quite a competitive friend, what could we say to them? Like, how did they go from being competitive to being uplifting? Because we have discussed that, you know, some people, it's transmission, is people that you pick up, you know, you have to unlearn in a way. So from the three of us, what would we say to people who find that they have that streak in them but don't quite know, or they're not intentional about it? How do they navigate that, Mya?
As a life coach, let me get into my life coachness. I'm very obsessed, if I like, with helping you understand that you are the most important person in your life. Why? Because you need to be aware of how you feel and how you feel, so that you can understand how to navigate around the world around you. Being jealous is not the issue.
That's it.
All it's done is giving you an indication that you need to look internally and figure out what is it about you that you are not happy with. It's natural for you to now project it onto other people, but what you're trying to do is not try and live your life in accordance to others, because the fact is there is no competition. When you are actually trying to build yourself and grow, and you understand where your walk and my walk are completely different walks. Imagine me trying to compare myself to you when we had two different walks in life. What is the point of?
And the thing is, both walks are needed.
Yes.
So when you try to compete with the other person, you deprive yourself of your own individualism.
And they're both valid as well.
Yes.
That's the thing.
And it's like, it's okay for them to have that walk and you to have this walk, but for as long as you are outside of your own concentration of your walk, you're looking over everyone's fences talking about, oh, but look, that's not the point. Always focus on your own fence, regardless to it. Whenever you feel like they, bring it back to you. That's the bottom line.
What does it say about me? I feel like this about them. What does it say about me? Why do I feel like this?
Most healthiest way of thinking, because it helps you to be healthy to yourself, and it also healthy to the people around you, so that you can feel jealous. Jealousy is not an issue. It's not, you're not a bad person for being jealous.
Do not demonize it.
Yes, it's just what am I going to do about this feeling I feel? Because it's not a them thing, it's a me thing. It's always a me thing, and not to say that I'm blaming me. It's not a judgment thing. It's in fact, it's even more important to realize, don't judge yourself for it. Like, I'm not saying to you focus and be like, oh my gosh, I'm a jealous person. No, I'm thinking, oh, this is jealousy. What does this mean? That's how I talk to myself. Like,
Self-awareness
let's be cool.
then.
Be cool.
Definitely.
Take it easy. Process it. But I promise you, when you look down and figure it out, it's just because you're not doing what you know you're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
That's it.
I don't know if you want to add anything.
No,
to
spot on.
to
Like
that
everything,
thing.
like what Mya said as well. You know, like, it's just, you know, just like, don't be hard on yourself. Like, recognize it. You know, it's okay to ask for help. You know, if you're not able to, or you don't identify it straight away, or you're not entirely sure, you feel embarrassed or humiliated. You know, there are help available. There's life coach, like you said. You know, there's services that are out there. You know, if you feel that you have a friend, and this is the purpose of a friend, isn't it? So there are people who you can actually express and talk about how you feel. You know, and also just to add to that as well, you will win as well. Like, your time will come.
Amen.
You know, like, we'll all get to the end of the race. You know, we all have different hurdles, different journeys, different offsets, you know, and stuff like that. But we'll all get there, and it's okay. You know,
I've
if it
realized
takes
as
longer.
well that when people are jealous, and I love having conversations with people, and even in the coaching sessions that we have, they have to be open about how they feel, right? So you get to actually express to me, say, this is how I feel and I don't know why. And I'm like, that's fine. The most important thing is your focus outside is preventing you from realizing you have so many wins. That's the issue. You're jealous because you don't realize how amazing you are and how good you're doing. You're more concentrating on someone else. Every one of us have wins. That's why when I'm doing my thing and you're doing your thing, I'm recognizing my wins more. I can recognize your wins. I'm like, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you don't even believe in it. So that's why you don't recognize it.
I was just about to say, I think sometimes jealousy and envy can be such a waste of time because the perception's a bit faulted, because I think sometimes when we feel that way is because we're downplaying our own achievements as well.
1000%.
And or sometimes we're buying into how other people are selling themselves.
Yes.
You know, I tend to find that quite commonly, not saying that we're jealous, and this is probably like a bad example. You know, when you're thinking, don't say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You know, sometimes when it comes to the music and stuff, I look at how far Nigerians are going, and I'm just like, that's so dope. But Congolese music is dope as well. But why aren't we there? So for me, it's like I had to come to a point where like it's not about the quality of the music. It's about the way it's been done.
The history.
How could we do it in a way? Yeah, it's been political. A lot of things come into it, and it's so like we've got different journeys, and I have to acknowledge that and be like, actually, this is really dope, and this is where we can go. This is what we need to work on. But before, I think I was a bit envious. Yes, envious, not jealous. I think I was envious because I was busy looking at how Nigerians celebrated their music and how, to be honest, Congolese demonized their circular music. And I based a lot of my perception on that rather than the music itself. And so it made me jealous because it's like, they're so proud. They're actually telling me that some of my music is theirs. I've had a Nigerian tell me that Kofi was Nigerian. And I was like,
I had the same perspective.
That kind of confidence is amazing. But instead of me looking at it and be like, that's what I want for us, I looked at it as in like, we're not doing good enough.
But do you know what? In a funny way, just as you said that, that's how competitiveness is. In a sense of, you know, brilliant example, Congolese music, Nigerian music, right? We know within like, and obviously being Congolese, we know that there's lots of issues and factors that stem as to why we are not advancing as far as, you know, the Nigerians, for instance, because there's more to it. And just like what Mya was saying as well, you know, competitiveness, jealousy and envy, it stems, it's deeper, you know, there's something behind that, you know.
And what I realized is sometimes, like you said, it can be so pointless, because my perspective of exactly this conversation, especially doing events and stuff, is I was around the Nigerians and, you know, Afrobeats, and when Afrobeats was kicking, I was out there kicking. I specifically left working with Afrobeats Nigerians because I was like, I'm actually Congolese and I know our music is so dope. Let me try and go in. And then I went in, I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Why is everybody mad?
In the UK, when I went to France, nah, bro. The Congolese, it's through the roof music up there. And it was because they celebrate themselves more. So it is the perception of, when you are dope and you accept it, you will naturally make other people that haven't accepted their own dopeness feel subconscious, whether you like it or not.
You're almost celebrating someone else's confidence and you don't know it. Like you think you're celebrating their work, but it's like, no, they're so confident. I'm jealous, but it's like, no, maybe I'm jealous because they're actually confident. Like that's what I need to be. That's the type of self-belief that I need in myself. I've got another one actually. In terms of jealousy, have you guys ever been the jealous one or the envy one? Have you ever found? Let's be real. I
was already nodding my head, but looking for the answer, I'm sure I have.
Have you, like, even on a small scale, has it?
Yes. What am I talking about?
Yes.
And I realized anytime I became jealous, and this is why I've even gone on a social media break, right? It's always from the perspective of, so I know I'm doing great. But why am I not being where I'm supposed to be? Why am I not being seen and heard how I'm supposed to be seen and heard? And it's because I realized I started to believe in everyone else's perception of what I was and is, rather than my own. So anytime I get to a place where I'm comparing myself, I know I've lost myself. Because I'm like, bro, you and I know damn well that we're not going to be like anyone else and everyone else. So let's follow our lead. But because other people are doing theirs and sometimes I realize that when it's that confidence we're talking about, when you're unsure and someone else is sure, they look like they know what they're doing.
That's it.
Right? And it's okay to be unsure when you're trying to figure things out. So in the figuring things out stage, it's almost like accept the fact that you're figuring it out rather than looking at it like I'm not doing anything.
Like I failed.
Our social media world, be so careful because everyone is presenting the doing it rather than the figuring it out.
Yeah, not the failings.
It's not the failings.
Not the failings. Just the celebration.
And they're not just presenting the doing it as well. They're presenting the stealing that they don't say. You know, a lot of it.
They're presenting the success.
The success, but it's not the way we know it as well. We have to be mindful of stuff like that as well. Even with our closest friends, like sometimes we don't even know what we're envying half the time. Like you're like, this person's going so far, their business is going so far. Sometimes it's fraud.
It's all distractions.
But some of us don't steal. We don't
right.
Some of us don't steal.
Right.
So we're really comparing ourselves to thieves sometimes. We're comparing ourselves sometimes to people who have way more resources, people that born into rich families.
It is genuinely focusing on, it's every time I've seen someone do something, I'm like, and I'm like, but I wouldn't do that. And I'm like, so then it's okay.
That's it, yeah.
Have you not noticed though, every time you focus on yourself, you...
Blossom.
Exactly. But...
It's so easy to, because we live in a world where every day they're showing you, look at her, look at him, listen to her. You literally, when you see a post on social media, you watch it, then you go directly to the comments. Do you understand what that's doing to you? As in you see something, but you don't think of your own perception of it. You go to see what everyone else thinks of it.
Do you know what's so crazy? I've literally started doing that the other day. Like, how did I get like
I'm
this?
here for the comments. You know what people are saying.
I don't.
I think that's a shade room's fault, to
It's
be honest, reading the comments all the time.
No,
I've always read the comments.
Because when you read, of course, you're following pages like the Shade Bar, all those pages. The post is the post, but the juice is in the comments.
It's in the comment,
So that's where we're going. We're all going to the comments. Twitter, why are you tweeting? You're speaking what you're speaking, but you're actually here to hear other people's opinions. Twitter, when I joined Twitter, I was like, yo, you're in my life.
Twitter,
you're ruining my life because there are millions of Clubhouse shooting us in the head. Because there are millions of opinions coming out left, right, centre. Loud. And dare you to not be sure this day about yourself. Go ahead on Twitter today when you're unsure about yourself. You're going to be sucking in.
It's one of the worst things. You pick up
so
an opinion, you're like,
information overload, really.
Maybe I think this. Oh no, this person's actually right. Oh wait, no, but this
comment
is
so great. I will think you're doing so great in anything you're doing if I just feel a little bit crap about myself today. And it's like, actually, I'm doing great in my own. And I'm like, oh, she's doing really great. Applaud. Because it's like, I'm doing great, you're doing great. But as soon as I'm thinking, oh, I haven't done enough, the judgment, the self-judgment. When you do the self-judgment thing, then you jump on the IG and you're seeing someone show the amazing house that they just bought. You know, everyone's doing this key thing.
And then you feel inadequate. Like,
everyone's got this key. And you're in your house on some, how was everyone buying these houses?
But it's the thing, some people in they're just to fulfill that.
Those are the parts that we don't get to see. Those are the parts that we don't get to see because we get to see the stuff like, oh, I bought my first house at 23.
We know there's more to life. We know this, but we still compare ourselves to the last part of what people are doing because most of the time we're not willing to do the work. We know what we have to do. But I'd rather just watch this and be like, oh, that's not fair. Go and do the work. Oh, she's got a great body. Go and work out. Yeah, tomorrow. Sorry,
just to reel it back because I feel like we've kind of gone off topic in terms of competitiveness in friendship. In terms of what we're just talking, you know, we don't get to see the real story behind Instagram pages and social media. And I think this is why it's more scary when it comes from friendship because you're like, well, you know what I've been through.
I know you. You know.
You see me when I'm down.
You know my struggles. How did you get rid of all of that and just looked at
because it wasn't about you, it was about them. That's what I learned. I was like, this is never about me. You're watching me, you're watching yourself through me, but you're judging yourself and now you're using me as the kind of the physical version of how you feel about yourself. And it's like, it's unfair because I'm actually a human being that's trying to actually build a relationship or friendship with you. I'm not a stick or a concept. So it's like now we have a ruined friendship because you're projecting what you are feeling towards yourself. That's why when you ask the question about compassion, it's like, yes, compassion over there. Because the boundary is you cannot be around people that don't feel comfortable about themselves with you because you won't be comfortable about you can't be yourself with them. So what is the point?
I think it's only like in a competitive and jealousy aspect, you know. Friendships is up and downs, you know. As a friend, you expect your friend to pick you up, you know, and stuff like that.
I don't expect my friends to pick me up. I just expect you to show me who I am.
I kind of do.
No, I do. If I'm out, you know.
I want you to show me who I am so I can pick myself up.
I mean,
but the reminders, in a way, will be differently.
I expect it to be part of me picking myself up. You know,
that's what I mean.
Like I almost feel like if something drastic or something big happens and I have to overcome it or sort of pick myself up, I do appreciate the
support.
people who I felt
Yes.
went out of the way. You don't have to. And don't get me wrong, even if it's my expectations, I don't say it. I tend to not do that because I don't want to be overbearing. But I will pay attention to the friends who will be like, hey Trish, I got you.
But this is the thing,
1,000%.
when you've got a problem, you know who to call.
Yeah.
Yes, but this is why maybe I'm being like this because I've been the friend that you would call for the advice, but not when I need it. Meaning, you only want to take and not give.
Yeah.
So it's like, actually, no. If I want to have a friendship that, okay, we can rely on each other to give each other advice on how we should see. I want you, if I'm coming to ask you something, I want you to help me reflect for myself.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Because I realize now, I don't want to tell any woman what to do.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't
I'm
be
gonna
like
give
that.
you advice on what is the parameters of what you're going through. You make the choice of what you want to do.
That's it.
And I would like for my friendship now, I would like for someone that would help me think for myself.
Yeah.
Rather than me telling you, because I realize that if you're not comfortable and I'm saying certain things, you're not ready to take it. No.
You
think for yourself.
You touched up on something there. Sorry to cut you off just before you go off and I completely forget about it. You mentioned that you end up finding yourself being the one who's been taken from. Like, you know, people could call you for advice, but they're not really reciprocating. Can we say that could be one of the dangers of having a friend who is in competition or envious of you? Is that in a way maybe they feel like you're complete, you don't need any help, you're not vulnerable, because they've kind of envied you to a point where they may have made you godlike or demon-like, it doesn't matter. However, they feel like you've got it all, and therefore it's hard for them to then see how you may be vulnerable enough to need.
That's why I cut the whole thing off.
Is what I'm saying.
Or
making
sometimes
sense?
it could just be the individual wants to know your hardships, your struggles, wants to see you suffer, and then they just don't
validate.
share. Yeah. It happens.
Oh my God, it's been
And
that.
that's it.
So
You know,
they would actually
and when
hear it and
it's like
just
you can call the friend, okay, my guys, you know, girls, we talk about men, your boyfriend, your partner, your husband, whatever. But the girl's never ever, or you know, very guarded and secretive with her relationship, but then she's always telling you what to do. It's very common and it happens.
It's very, very common.
That's
So
actually
there's that
scary.
side.
Yeah.
That's actually...
And that's subtle as well.
And because of that, I sense that sometimes with women, which is why I used to overcompensate. So I'd be like, I don't know how to do this, boy. I struggle with this too.
Yeah.
I then start to do that because I'm like, I don't want you
want to let them know, me too, I struggle.
But then I realized my me too has become, it's me. And what was your problem again? Oh, you don't have any problems?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. But you've understood now what to do.
Yeah.
But then tomorrow it's like, I've literally shown you that this is a struggle for all of us.
Yeah.
We can work through it. But you're still seeing me as you think you're more capable.
And so do you think they're coming back to hear you humble yourself? Because I think...
To watch you be humbled.
Yeah.
Because you're expressing, you're now having to tell them how things go wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Things go wrong all the time. To reassure them that my life is not perfect.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, I see what's going on here. So I'll just...
So your hardship kind of almost validates them.
Of course, they live in it. Remember, I said the whole thing of, if I'm the black, you need to stand next to me to feel like you're the white. You're the light, I'm the dark.
Yeah.
So it's like being around somebody that you feel validated against or whatever. But what is the validation that you're seeking?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, for me, my friendship's like sisterhood. So if I can't come to you, if you're my sister, it's not friendship, you're my sister. So if I can't come to you when I'm feeling vulnerable, when I'm feeling down, or when I need to pick me up, or when I just need to, you can't celebrate my wins, then what are you? I have to reevaluate. That's just how I
guess you're
am.
more of an associate.
That's it. I've got categories. That's how I operate. I've got categories.
I've barely got friends now. You guys are my friends.
I've got categories.
I'm learning.
So
that's the thing I said. It's like I've realized my concept of friendship was bizarre. It was that whole thing. You can come to me, but I can't come to you because when have we had the chance where I can be like, hey, so I'm going through this kind of vibe, right? What do you think I should do?
And it's a genuine reception.
Right, because it's not to say that because I know, and I say this sometimes, like, it's not because I know that I won't need your advice to remind me next time I don't remember, right? But I want you to be able to remind me and the issue I've been having
to
is
even believe in it, and you believe in me enough, like to see the sincerity enough in me. Like,
it's like
you need to humanize me to get to
humanize
this point.
me. Yeah, it's like the advice is coming, and it's coming from a humble place. When I'm like, okay, you need to give me advice now because I need it too. Right? We're doing life stuff, right? We're doing life things. You said it's a sisterhood. Life stuff is happening. Tell me, help me. But it's like, oh, you think I know what I'm doing. Yeah. So then you've come to take all the doings, and then you've left me on some hello, hi. What about me when I needed the
This
kind
is
of...
the point I was trying to make.
When
I said they see like you, they see you as in, because they see you as godlike, even though they don't want to admit it, but jealousy, you see someone as above you to some extent. And so because you've placed them up there, you don't think that they ever need uplifting.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're up there, you're good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're complaining about. And then you also sense a sense of attitude when how they're reacting to your problems. Maybe minimizing it all the time. Oh, that's no big deal. Guess what happened to me?
Mine is almost like good. Well, yeah, that's...
Okay, that's just demonic.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
Like, have you experienced those CK?
Let me tell you why. Because...
I don't know why I'm acting like I haven't experienced demons. I really have experienced demons in women.
It's because the things that I will be happy to discuss as this is hard, especially towards like men and all that kind of stuff. It's things that because they're still standing what they believe. This is what I realized. If you don't have the same belief systems, there's no point.
That's it. It goes back to the foundation.
Right? Because I can give you all the advice, but it's coming from a belief system. You don't have that belief system. It has to be your core belief. Right. If you don't have that core belief system, the equation might work for you on this occasion, so you're going to take it. But tomorrow I'm going to need you to give me that advice back from the same core belief system, but you don't vibe with that. So tomorrow when I'm like, I don't do this with guys, and then something goes wrong or I suffer in that position, it's like, well, you should have just been the pick me.
Yeah. Like well, I thought you knew everything.
Exactly. And it's like, no, you don't get it. If you're looking at my falls as me failing, you don't get this. I'm gonna fall over lots of times. That's not the point. I'm not afraid of falling over. Is that what we've been measuring here? So it's like looking at people that are, if you're seeing this, especially the direction of life I'm going in, personally, it is very not in the crowd. And that's hard for people sometimes. Like, who do you think you are to leave our social parameters of how we do things? You must think you're so special. In the middle of the suffering. I said to you guys last time,
I'm literally suffering.
Who am I going to call for advice about some of these things? Because most people might not know how to deal with this stuff. That ain't fun. If I'm no longer a Christian, that ain't fun to be, if your whole network, your whole family are dealing with things in a certain way, you can't ask them for advice. So it's like, guys, this whole me thinking individually is not such a fun place to be in. But then I'm realizing you're building friendships with people that don't have the same capacity as you. I'm like, ooh, that's my fault then.
Because no matter sometimes how much you express it or explain it to them, if they don't have capacity,
associate.
Yes, they
coaching.
Yes.
Book me. That's the advice I can give you.
Pay me, because you're not using my advice for free very fairly.
Yes.
You're not using it very
a friendship
wisely.
is different to a one-sided situation that you are receiving. I can talk to death to you.
That's labor. You might as well pay me.
Friendship is different, and I had to learn that we're either associates or friends. I had to learn the value of friendship meant that I also have needs that you need to be given to me too.
It's a safe space, and it's protected.
So we're coming to the end now, guys. So I just want to wrap this up. So in terms of friendship, what's the best, safest, and healthiest way to manage a competitive friend, or when you have noticed that you have a competitive friend? What would you recommend is one of the first stages you take, CK, from your experiences, and as, I don't know, I would say social worker, but I don't know if that's relevant, but I just wanted to throw that in there. Remind you guys, as a social worker,
we don't deal with competitive friends. But I would say, at the end of the day, it depends on the individual. I think some people, if I think you're toxic, I will just, be grown and distance myself from you. We'll be cool, we'll be cordial, we're not enemies. That's it. Keep my distance. Someone, and I think, I don't know, maybe because of my background, I would know if someone's insightful or not. So if I feel that maybe I need to bring it to their attention, or we need to have a conversation about it, then we will.
Because it might not be intentional.
But then, this is the thing, but then I need to kind of see what space the individual's at. And like you said, would they be ready to receive it? Because it might be an attack. Oh, she's jealous of me. So, in some circumstances, I've just had to say, do you know what? I keep my distance. So with me, when a situation like that happens, I'm always mindful what I tell the individual. Because I need to safeguard and to protect myself at the end of the day.
So in terms of safeguarding, when you realise this, one of the first things you do, you kind of...
So you have to be cautious.
You become cautious about the information you put out there.
Exactly.
So guys, be cautious. That's one of the things that CK has recommended. That would be good. And I definitely agree with that, because you don't want to risk it, because I think Mya mentioned that she ends up going the opposite, where you end up overcompensating. Let me tell you all my secrets. Come closer. Everybody,
really kill myself with you. Just with that, I would say focus on yourself. you have a jealous friend, focus on yourself and ask yourself, what is this human being doing in your life? How did they get here? How have they sustained themselves in your environment for so long? Because clearly you're doing stuff that is allowing them to thrive off the relationship that you have. That's number one. Secondly, depending on the kind of relationship that you guys have and the people that you are, especially the people that you are, have an open, honest conversation. Because I realize sometimes things that thrive in darkness and in silence thrive because they're in darkness and in silence. But when you put it out, it can dead it off because someone is now conscious of it themselves. And they're like, oh, I wasn't trying to be that person, right? And so you give them a chance to be like, look, this is what I'm picking up. And you would know to do it because of how uncomfortable it is to have that conversation. And then you have to find your big girl pants and both sit down and be on some, this is so awkward, so weird, but we have to have this conversation.
But I think that's what makes friendships.
If it's repeated, then to cut it off.
Especially
but
if it's repeated after the conversation.
Having that first talk means that you have both given each other the same value and respect to talk about it. And getting through this means our friendship then just gets
it's like,
closer.
I trust you enough to handle this and deal with this accordingly.
But then when you gauge, like what CK says, you start picking up on this person isn't in the space. And sometimes they just don't have the capacity.
They're not capable.
It goes back to the same thing, which is you still have to do action, which is you just withdraw.
I would have to pretty much agree with everything you ladies said. I think for me personally, because I'm very forward as well, because I think it depends on how you are as well. I'm quite forward, so the first thing I tend to want to do is let's put it on the table. Let's just throw everything out there. But I would say handle it quite. Be careful, be mindful, because I think some of these characteristics stem from people's traumas, people's coping mechanism, and be careful for you, because people are not always going to receive it as you want them to receive it. Sometimes a friend is a friend until they hear something that they don't want to hear, and then you're dealing with a complete different person. So I'd say have a conversation. Always encourage to have a conversation, whether depends on the character you are. Me personally, I'd be like, I kind of feel like you're competing with me. You know, am I wrong?
So like in a jokey way.
But that's me sometimes. I guess that's my positive toxicity. Like, I try to make everything into laughter so that you're comfortable. Like, I feel like you're competing. Like, are you?
I think
and
if I ever have to have that conversation with someone, this is already the red flaggers of the red flaggers. Because I've now realized that with the friendships, the way I've understood friendships now and the values of friendships I have now, I shouldn't be in a situation with these kind of situations, right?
Absolutely.
So if we're going to have the conversation, I'm going to have to be very black and white about it. Because how did we get here?
And I think it has to happen very soon as well, because I think often the mistakes that a lot of us are being, what we do is we kind of tend to try to manage it, the gangamotema culture. You know, you kind of hold on to it because it's awkward. But I really do encourage people to speak about it, like as soon as it happens, because I think sometimes if you let it go on as well, now you've got a lot of hostility. It's no longer that one conversation.
You know what the issue is, and we haven't spoken about this, it's the gaslighting around bringing up jealousy.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll be like, I feel like, and they're like, what are you talking about?
But then I think this is also very telling. Everybody knows. I wouldn't say everybody knows what gaslighting is. No, but they don't. What is gaslighting, first of all?
Exactly.
Gaslighting is when someone's manipulating what you know is to be the truth.
What you feel to be true.
What you feel to be truth. Like, you can say, you know, TK, I felt like you ate Chinese food today. No, not I didn't eat Chinese. But I'm pretty sure I saw you eat Chinese. Maybe you saw someone else eat Chinese. I saw her eat Chinese today,
making
by
you
the way.
doubt your own
So it's kind of
experience.
doubt your reality.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
And I think it's important that when you do try to have conversation with people or a friend, if they're not receptive, I think that's a very big sign to be like, this is where I've got to back off.
You know what?
Yeah.
Because if they're not conscious of it, there's nothing I can do. I think that's when you can determine that they haven't got the capacity. But I think it is fair, if you believe someone is the genuine individual, to have that first step, but always stay vigilant after that. That would be what I have to say. So just to wrap it up, so that was us talking about temptations in friendship. Wow, competition in friendships. If you guys enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up. Also follow our Instagram. The details will be on the screen. If you guys have other suggestions or ideas or more exciting topics that you specifically want to see us discuss on Talk to Trish, please do message us and let us know. Or even if it's just other perspectives to friendships, which we'll touch on anyway, do get in touch and let us know. As we said, we'll see you soon on the next episode to your favorite talk show. Yes, this is your favorite talk show now. Amen. Thank you and take care. Bye-bye, guys.